Okay. My hair looks okay. Hey baby gang, what's up? It is your boy Pretty Baby, and today we are going to look at a particular video that caught my interest. It is a rapper named IDK from Maryland. Now IDK is this really cool rapper who, you know, has a lot of technical ability and really great storytelling ability. He often shares his stories through his music of the things that he's been through, and part of that is him talking about his relationship with his mother on his last record, I believe. And so he's performing at this concert, and there's this 1-minute clip that comes out that got really viral on Reddit of a fan having an emotional experience in the front row. And let's watch it. And then I'll discuss why I felt the need to discuss this video and what I think we should all be taking from it.
Hold up. You good, bro? I already know, man. Hey, look, Scott. It's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all love over here. Everybody fucks with you. Everybody loves you.
I have to say, I really appreciate IDK's fit. I fucks with the North Face jumper. I fucks with the tan on tan. And those look like some Air Forces. Very nice, IDK. Very nice. There's also another point in this video in which I think this girl in the crowd, probably isn't exactly attuned to what's happening, because she sort of says something that's a little bit tone deaf considering what's happening, where she goes, "Speak up!" from like a few rows behind. Maybe don't do that, homie. Maybe don't do that. And everybody just tells her to shut the fuck up. It's pretty wild. It's a pretty wild moment.
So, my mother was an abusive alcoholic in high school, and she never connected with me in any way until I moved here. And I played this song for her. She always talked about how she hated rap and hated how I was a fan of it. And this song brought her and I together.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. You know, it's crazy because I make music, right? And it's always about however I feel personally, and I put it into, you know, these songs. I never really think about exactly how it could affect the next person that listens to it. And right now you just gave me a lot more perspective, you know what I mean? So I want to say thank you. No, for real, man. I appreciate you, seriously. Thank you for telling me that. It lets me know that what I have has way more purpose, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man.
Okay, let me take a second to write some notes down about what I feel. Okay, so I think what blew a lot of people away about this video on the internet was the way that this person, this artist, IDK, a rapper, really took his time out to be there for this fan in a moment where it was really all about him, because it's his concert. People have paid good money to go see him. He's got this whole crowd bouncing and listening to him do his thing, and he's out there giving his heart out, you know, performing, doing his craft. For him to have not made this moment about himself, or just sort of put that moment aside for later, and just to literally just stop his song in the middle of the performance, see this person, go over to them, not really have the crowd know exactly what's going on, because he's literally just speaking to him one-on-one, directly, quietly. Nobody can hear what is being said, as that girl suggested. The fact that he did that is awesome. It's really awesome. And it's especially awesome when you think about a couple of things relating to hip-hop. Now, I've always loved hip-hop, obviously, and I make hip-hop music. And one of the things that sort of plagues the genre sometimes is this idea of, like, toxic masculinity, which a lot of people think means, like, men are toxic or whatever and take it in a certain way. But what it really should mean is the ideas of how men should conduct themselves and how men should compete with other men and be violent or aggressive with other men rather than just be healthy and be happy. That's the idea of toxic masculinity that people discuss when they use that term. And that permeates throughout hip-hop, and it's just a thing that people deal with in society. Often men are not taught to be emotional, they're not taught to show their feelings, especially as rappers, you know, who are supposed to be braggadocious and supposed to have a lot of success and a lot of people fucking with them. They're not supposed to show any sort of vulnerability. They're not supposed to let their guard down. They're not supposed to connect with people who are crying. They're supposed to connect with people who are cheering. They're supposed to connect with people who are winning. You know what I mean? That's obviously not a healthy state. And the fact that IDK, I don't know how much he thinks about this in the way that I'm articulating it, because I have a specific viewpoint and whatever, but clearly he's somebody who's kind of not like that. He's somebody who's a little bit against those ideas in a sense, whether or not he might even realize it, because rather than go for the traditional masculinist response of like being hip-hop and being a rapper and staying tough about shit, IDK decides, I'm gonna just have an emotional moment with a person, another human being. This is not about being a rapper or whatever. And, you know, that's something that we should be seeing from other rappers. And it's honestly not something that we see from other rappers very much. But I do think social norms are changing, and that's part of what's going to happen. Is you see men, even as rappers, as people who are supposed to be on top of the world or whatever, and supposed to be super fucking tough, allow themselves to be emotional and allow the people around them to be emotional and heal and properly meditate on those feelings. He's just connecting with another person. That's real life shit, and that's the kind of stuff that doesn't happen super often at performances for good reason. Like, you go to escape and you go to be creative and whatever, but it's very cool that he was able to have that moment. The other thing that I want to say, people always are like, yo, don't put race into this. I'll be smart about how I put race into this, okay? Because I don't have anything negative to say, obviously. Racially, there are a lot of awkward dynamics between white consumers of hip-hop, white fans, white bros who listen to hip-hop, and the black performers and the black culture that creates hip-hop. And oftentimes you'll see white fans connect with rappers, but not in the sense like they connect with what they're saying or like really love the music, but you'll see a lot of white fans just kind of partake in it casually, which can piss people off sometimes and for various reasons. It's a very complicated discussion, but what I wanted to point out was that in that moment, you see a genuine connection between two people who are probably very different. I mean, this person has obviously been through some shit, and IDK has been through some shit, and that's all that matters in that moment. Even though in hip-hop the artists are prevalently black and it's a black art form and that has to be respected and understood, it's also such a strong art form because people from anywhere can connect with it. I myself, as like an Asian person, like know a lot of Asian people who have connected with hip-hop. I'm also Latino, and a lot of Latino people connect with hip-hop. People around the world connect with hip-hop and create hip-hop culture in different parts of the world. And this is a kid who, you know, he's just this white kid. He's kind of, I don't know, I don't know much about his life, but he might not seem like the typical hip-hop person, but the fact that he really connected with a hip-hop song on an emotional level and it meant something to him for real in his life, that's something that has to be respected about the genre. And that's the way that cultural exchange and the way that different people of different ethnicities and different cultural backgrounds should come together. It shouldn't be this thing where it's like, oh, this is cool or whatever, so I'm gonna go, or I'm gonna just bump this with my friends in the club and I don't know shit about it. Like, it's good to do that sometimes, but it's also really good to connect with the music and connect with the art form and connect with the artists in human ways and understand that these artists are human, understand that their music's about human experiences, and that the genre is about human experiences. Yeah, so I don't want to get into too much of a diatribe as I'm already over where I wanted to record in terms of time period. But I had a lot of thoughts about this and I thought it was super cool. And I hope that you thought it was cool too, because honestly, it's a very powerful moment. Baby gang, let me know what you guys think about this moment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. And I'll have new music coming out for you guys soon. But I love to react to moments like these and give you my thoughts when I have them. So we'll see what else I'll talk about. Thanks. Bye. This star didn't come out too bad this time. Not too bad. It doesn't connect, but I give up.